Hello and welcome, divine seekers of autonomous heart harmony. Welcome to part 5 of the all 12 signs video series for Venus in Leo. My name's Chloe. I work with card divination, astrology, and I channel energies through my body. As you can see, my hands are moving around right now. I'm channeling energies from different dimensions. They help us integrate messages, clear energy, and open portals so we can really operate from a soul space. I use all these modalities to help us get a sort of an understanding of what's going on in the astro weather, what sort of energy is floating around and having an impact on us. The more that we're aware of both the good, the bad, and the ugly, the more that we can take a step back, get some perspective, see what we need to learn, and then begin to co-create. We can make informed, autonomous decisions. Hence the title of the channel, all the cards on the table, as much information and context as possible, so we can be upfront with one another, upfront with the energies, and be able, as I say, to make informed, autonomous decisions about how we all want to move forward, both on an individual level and a collective level. So I really recommend checking out the introductions for all this video series, because I bring in different dynamics and elements of what this transit's going to be about. I'm reading it for Sagittarius and Scorpio in this video. I'm doing 2 signs per video. I really recommend checking out your rising sign. This is the first house in your natal chart, and the astrology will apply to those of you who have that rising sign. It doesn't invalidate if you check out your sun, your moon, your Venus in particular, or any other sign in the chart. We have all of them. Look to where that sign falls, the house that it's in, the themes of that house, and then apply those themes to the messages that come through. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. So I work with the tropical zodiac. This is based off the solstices and equinoxes. This is tying us in with the cycles of nature. We are nature. I also work with the Hellenistic principles. This is based off over 2,000 years ago. And the main themes about this that will affect the reading is one, I use the whole house system. So each sign has the whole of a house. I don't apply the modern rulership of Pluto to Scorpio, Uranus to Aquarius, and Neptune to Pisces. I can understand why they are. A lot of themes are linked into those signs, but I just feel like the outer planets don't want to be bound. I also don't apply the themes of the first house and Aries together for all of the rising signs, so Taurus isn't always about the second house values, those sorts of things. I just find it a bit limiting. It's not part of my practice. I focus on these collective readings, on the inner work. It's the most consistent thing for all of us, right? So it's a bit I usually shy away from talking about romantic relationships or jobs and business stuff. That would be more in a personal reading. If you've got a particular question, that would change the way the interpretation of the cards and the astrology turns up. If you want a personal reading, check out my email address in the description box. If you want to contact me, reach out. I will get back to you. So yeah, I focus on the inner work. It's the most consistent thing for all of us, and the more that we sit with ourselves with compassion and realness, the more we unpack the layers of who we are, the more we're able to change our frequency based into a soul level, and draw in opportunities and experiences towards us that match that frequency. It also helps us weather any storm. The more at peace we are with ourselves, the more we understand our foundations, peel back the trauma responses, peel back the limiting beliefs, the more in observation of that, the more that we don't necessarily get reactionary when situations come up. We can be in that state of observation and then see from the root of our intuition how we want to integrate and work with that. Working on yourself not only helps you, those around you, but it also helps the collective. The more of us who embody an integrated energy, the more that goes out into the collective consciousness. We can see right now in the world that it's all our collective trauma is very, very loud and proud right now, and it's very intimidating in terms of the amount of things that seem out of our control and out of our power, that just are a bit like, what's going on? But we can control how we respond. We can control our situation and how we work with it. And the more that we do that, the more we take back our own control, take back our autonomy from structures that are trying to separate us, trying to diminish us, diminish our power, the more that we can then bring that strength and energy into the greater collective. Thank you everybody for watching. I appreciate it, new and returning viewers alike. Your energy transfer and time is very valuable, and I do appreciate you being here with me during this transit. So Venus in Leo, as I said, I recommend checking out all the introductions because I bring in different themes around Leo, around Venus, around the retrograde in each video. The first video was sort of breaking down the overall transit. I pulled some collective cards for what that means for us in a general level. The second video was a heart cleanse, heart chakra cleanse and activation with my pendulum. The third one was breaking down the sort of aspects, the main aspects around the shadow phase, the retrograde phase with Venus, pulling some cards on that, and also linked into the sun, because wherever the sun is going to be having an impact on this transit, because Leo is ruled by the sun. Yesterday, what was it? Part 4, that was a focus on this carnelian that I have here, as well as the heart card that came out, and working through heartache, and what we're being supported with, what energy's coming through. Today's video, did I mention I'm reading for Sagittarius and Scorpio? I think I did. Yes, I did. Today's video introduction, I'm just going to talk a little bit about Venus when she's retrograde and focus a bit more on that. You know, this is a time of going inward. This is a time of reflection, of questioning things as well. It can be when we have retrograde planets in our chart. It means that sometimes we take a little while to have a direct motion and go forward with that area of our lives. With a Venus retrograde, it can mean that you question your value, right? Venus represents love, passion, desire, harmony, creativity. She wants things to be clean and tidied up. She likes harmony, but it's value and appreciation, and that can come up in all sorts of forms. It's also linked into money as well. That's so funny because that was the card that I was talking about yesterday. Brought into yesterday because it came up in one of the collective readings, that when we have Venus retrograde, she's sort of going inward, she's questioning herself, and therefore we are questioning those parts of us. So it can mean that you don't realize your own value. Situations come up that have you questioning that. Often people with Venus retrograde, it's like with retrogrades, it's 3 times a charm. So you have a planet going over the degrees that it's going to retrograde. So that's one journey. It's then going to retrograde 2 journeys, and then it's going to go back over it again. So while moving forward, so that's 3 goes, 3, and it once you get there, then it usually instigates something that is very long lasting and very meaningful. You know, retrogrades are linked into sort of revision, a do-over. It's when I was mentioned how you know, reading a book a couple of times really helps you get into the nuances in something and helps you really understand and integrate, you know, the messages that are coming through. So when we're going over things, we're getting a bit of hindsight. We're more familiar with the situation. Oh my goodness, I've just seen a beautiful spider on the altar out of the corner of my eye. I do love a spider. Guys, don't, like, this is a sidebar, but if there's a spider in your house, it's not out to get you. They are wonderful things for our ecosystem. They really help everything in its flow. If you don't want it in the house, just get a cup and a postcard and put it out, you know, put it outside, and please, yeah, don't kill the spiders, guys. Little personal plea from me. Right, but where was I? So we're getting a do-over, we're revisiting, we're getting to understand the nuances of what's going on. So I'm just pulling cards about what sort of that Venus retrograde's about. You know, very interesting. I'm saying 3 times a charm. So you could potentially go through, I mean, with the retrograde itself, rather than it being a Venus retrograde in your chart, of having to go over something that might be difficult and might have caused you heart pain 3 times, until each time you go over it, a sword is being pulled out. We've all suffered heartache in one way or another. This doesn't just have to be linked into romantic relationships. Venus is about connection, a connection with yourself, with the people around you, with the outside world, with the universe, friends, business partners, clients, romantic interests. It can touch absolutely every area of your life. your relationship with your work, your relationship with your downtime, your relationship with your home. All of these things are linked into Venus. We've also had the Two of Pentacles come up. So this is kind of highlighting the where we might feel ourselves with the retrograde, because there's movement here, but it's not necessarily direct motion. You're sort of juggling different ideas, constructs. You're trying to figure out which one to pick in order to then get out of, to make a forward motion, to get out of a sense of survival mode. So the retrograde, as I said, like it can bring up things that might be difficult, that might question how you value yourself, question how you feel about your desire, about your pleasure, what brings you harmony, and it can feel disruptive, right? So this is a semi-disruptive. Oh, I didn't realize I was that zoomed in with the camera. This can feel unsettling, and that you don't quite know which direction that you're heading in. Pentacles is linked into the earth, so very much our experience in the 3D world might feel like there's stuff going on, you're having to work through it, but it's not quite that direct motion. So with a Venus retrograde, again, questioning your value, questioning whether the people around you love you, whether you are worth loving. You know, Venus is the goddess of love, and it's often, with Venus retrograde in charts, it's often quite heartbreaking, because those people are incredibly lovable, and they have so much to offer, and it's often difficult to witness when you see someone who is light is shining very brightly, but they can't see it, right? And that is very appropriate for Venus and Leo, because it is ruled by the sun. Leo is ruled by the sun, so it's about perhaps the light that we have within us, that sun that we have in our heart, that is a generator, has been dimmed. Your glow has been dimmed for one reason or another, and therefore it means that you can't see the light that you have. And sometimes we feel that it might be egotistical to value our own light. There are other ways of working with it. You can be very proud of that light without taking away from the light of others. Leo energy is very much about wanting to shine, wanting to shine, how do I say this? Seeing the light in other people and wanting that to shine, and creating situations and connections and bringing harmony to help others see their own light. And so Venus moving through Leo and retrograding is going to be helping us allow our heart to break out and break free and shine brightly without this sense of feeling that you're taking up all the space, that you need to be seen. Shine that light inwards, be your own beloved, and be able to see things, see the truth of things. You know, the King of Swords is very much about seeing the clarity. So when this card is coming up for this particular thing, it's about seeing the limitations, seeing the trauma responses that you have around your heart for what they are, rather than letting them consume you, rather than letting them, I can't remember which sign had this combination, rather than letting it cloud your judgment, and have you see a distorted version of reality. So the retrograde can help bring up situations that are going to trigger this and question this, and help you be able to be, the reason why I say it, I'm not scaremongering, but and it might not be for all of you, that these things can come up to either show you what you need to work on, or show you the journey that you've been on over the last 8 years, and the growth that you've made and the expansion that you've made, that there may be a little nuances still left there that you're trying to work on. Just got the Hierophant. This is all about wisdom and commitment. This is about taking your time to learn, and study the situation, study your heart and how it feels. Get into your body. This is Taurus, right? So Jupiter is in Taurus. Venus rules Taurus, so we've got a lot of Taurus Leo energy throughout this transit. Venus and Taurus are going to be squaring one another, so things are going to come into the forefront, things are going to manifest in the world and show up that are going to help you understand the innate wisdom that you have within you. Be your own guru. yeah, so as I said, 3 times Venus is going to be going over these degrees 3 times, and so we've got this time to be in pause, to allow a sense of stillness and not necessarily make rash decisions. But I wanted to talk about the retrograde because it can be that you can just feel very melancholy. Your heart can feel very just disrupted, and just there's a sense of that light not being seen, and we can then lash out and want to perform and want to take up that space because we're not allowing ourselves to sit with that emotion and talk to our heart and say, hey, what's going on with you, how, or just even just sitting with the emotion and letting it pass through you, and just being very mindful. I'm thinking of the Quaker religion, and it's one of the religions, if I'm going to go with any kind of book religion, that has always interested me. They spend their time in communion with one another, sitting in a very plain room in silence and just seeing what comes up, and they don't always share what comes up. It's a very personal experience, your connection with the universe. Allow those voices in your mind, allow your heart to talk to you. My hand has just gone over my heart chakra. There's a sense of protectiveness with Venus and Leo. She really wants that heart vibration to get into alignment with our soul. She realizes that we've been through so much over the last couple of years, well, for a time immemorial, and wants us to feel good about ourselves, wants us to have a bit more flow in our lives, a bit more harmony, a bit more sense of appreciation and value for our inner space. And therefore then that reflects out in the world. Kindness is such a beautiful way of moving through the world, and the Leo energy is incredibly kind, incredibly generous. Yes, there's egos, yes, there's fights, yes, there's drama. All of these things may come up, but be mindful and look to it like, why am I responding like this? Why do I need this from the outside world? What am I not giving myself? Where have I not been seen? Where has my heart not been allowed to be vulnerable? And these situations may come up that may trigger that vulnerability, that may reflect on past passions that you've had, past desires, helping you analyze, okay, this is an 8-year difference. Who am I now? What's important to me? What do I want to bring to this next 8-year cycle? So yeah, we're going to have the retrograde phase from the 22nd of July to the 3rd of September. So that is a month and a bit, but we are going to have the shadow phase from June 19th, so to October 7th. So most of this phase of Venus and Leo is either going to be in retrograde or in the shadow phase. So we're spending a lot of time going over things, and this is the Aquarius card, which is great. So that's opposing Leo, but it's about healing and being your authentic self. Uranus is squaring Venus during this time. Uranus wants you to be comfortable in your skin, wants you to feel good about who you are, and be able to be comfortable being your unique self in a crowd, in relationships. It's also about your star shining brightly. This is about hopes and dreams of where we're headed in that next cycle after potentially things falling apart. Some of you who might be in relationships, you might be renegotiating how you commit to each other. Relationships. We've got the Four of Pentacles. This is about your inner power, your strength. It can also be about holding on to things that haven't served you, that are make you feel safe, but aren't actually helping you break out of an environment that is blocking you off from the multiple possibilities of the universe. But very much for me, this is about your own inner power in the 3D realm, a sense of confidence and command, despite what's going on in the world. What was I saying? Oh yeah, for those of you, right, so if you're in a relationship, basically you've got to commit every day. You've got to, wake up and be like, okay, what do I want? What do we want? How are we working through this? This can be friendship, business, romantic, as I said, and your relationship with yourself. Like this is, it's not fixed in stone. Our dynamics aren't fixed. Energy isn't fixed. We are constantly in a state of change. And this retrograde can help, like some relationships may fall by the wayside in this. And this is usually because they're not serving either of you at the root of who you are. New relationships can come in that can help you work through trauma responses, limiting beliefs, as well as bring in relationships that are matching where you're at and and helping you start a new cycle of self-worth and self-love based on the things that you truly need, that are truly important to you, having gone through maybe some relationships that have shown you otherwise, and helped you learn those valuable lessons. I think about the Venus retrograde in Leo. Ace of Cups, love that at the root of it. Give from your saucer, not from your cup, right? So if you give from your saucer, as in imagine that your cup is overflowing, you're giving from a state of abundance. You are not, it's not selfish to nourish yourself and make sure that you are fully whole before giving to other people. It's making me think about the star card in Aquarius, and how that sense of opposition where we've got the self and the other, that we can have codependency issues. We could prioritize other people's needs above our own. That's not healthy. That's not going to help you last. That's not going to give you the strength and foundations. You're going to get burnt out, and it's just not the one. As well as taking too much and not giving back in return. That's there's a healthy balance between prioritizing yourself as well as prioritizing those around you, and working through that sense of, again, you're not selfish. Leo can be very proud and very it is the sun, the solar of the center system. It can be about the ego, but can be about you and being able to be comfortable with yourself and with what you're giving that isn't taking away from you. And the more that frequency goes out, the more you give from that abundance frequency, the more that frequency ripples out, rather than giving from a space of lack. Because it's just showing the universe that you're not valuing yourself. One of the key words for this transit for me is value. And that, that covers a lot of bases. That the more that we value ourselves, the more that we are in harmony. And I mean this from a very integral space. Like Venus can be, the pleasure seeker, the wanting everything to be easy. I mean, I feel like that's a very unintegrated Venus, but it's still a very prevalent image. Also with the square to Jupiter, it's kind of like, let's feel really good, and that's the only thing we're going to focus on. Remember to bring back integrity. Remember to think about the sort of the collective space of Aquarius, of the ideal of how we behave with one another in groups. So really asking to bring in that performance element of Leo into an authentic drive from your heart space. Queen of Cups. So this is about nourishment and intuition. But this is about I'm pulling cards for the retrograde, and water energy is yin, night in nature, and this is about being in a state of observation and of cultivation. So just take your time. She's very serene. Be in that space of serenity, despite what might come up, despite what heartache might come back. Tend to your heart, nourish your emotional space. So let's see what final card wants to come out. Okay, we've got the Justice card, but I'm going to pull another card. One more card. So Justice is the Libra card, and the nodes are going to be moving into Aries and Libra a couple of days before the retrograde begins. The Sun is opposite Pluto at the beginning of this retrograde. So we've got this emotional connection and clarity and sensitivity in our intuition opposing Pluto in Capricorn, of power and dominion, of transformation, of those emotional ties that we may have, where the moon rules Cancer. That's how we nourish ourselves and nourish other people. Again, getting that into balance. The Justice card. So the nodes are changing into Libra and Aries, and this is very karmic energy. Nodes are karmic energy. I find retrogrades are quite karmic energy as well. And, it's part of a bigger cycle. So we're clearing out old soul contracts. The law is often very much linked into contracts, and bringing in new soul contracts that are based on balance, based on equity. So very interestingly, the node is going to move into Libra, so and Aries, we've got that balance between being yourself, being confident, wanting to embody and experience the world, as well as refining our social dynamics, making sure we're not again, it's about it's about finding that balance between working with other people, incorporating their needs without diminishing yours. Love this card. This has come up so much in these readings. This is about dominion. This is about knowing what it is that you need to do in order to start a new journey. See, these ships are going out into the world, and they're going to be going on an adventure. This is Wands. This is creative, passionate energy, and it follows the Two of Wands, which is about getting the lay of the land. So they've just put it over there. So I'm feeling like that's how we're moving forward out of the retrograde, of having gone through all of this and worked out what we need as safety, moving away from survival mode, going through heart issues that are helping us tap into the abundance of the Ace of Cups, of bringing peace into our heart space, with clarity and understanding of what the past taught us, where we are now. Hierophant, the wisdom of going through experiences and then being able, there's a sense of tradition and commitment and autonomy and authority with the Hierophant. Be your own guru, understand the journey that you've been on and how you can get wisdom from that. We've got the Star, deep healing with the Queen of Cups, nourishing your emotional space, and also finding peace, finding serenity, and being able to tap into your intuition about what it is that really matters to you. New karmic contracts coming in, balance being brought to the contracts that we've already been in, and at the end of it, we're getting a sense of dominion. We are in command. They're on the top of a cliff. They know what they're doing in order to start that new journey. Right, I am going to read for Sagittarius and Scorpio. Very much appreciate your time, and thank you everybody. Be good to yourselves, be good to everyone around you, and most importantly, be well until we meet again. Sagittarius rising. For those of you checking out the Sagittarius energy, it's not your rising sign. Look to where Sagittarius falls in your chart, the house that it's in, the themes of that house, and apply those themes to the messages that come through. Take what resonates and leave what doesn't. But for just in general, so Leo and Sagittarius energy, same element, both fire signs. So this is a trine between Leo and Sagittarius, wherever that is in your chart. And so a trine is an aspect of Jupiter. And this wants to provide elevation, inspiration, cohesion, a sense of feeling good about yourself. There's an inner wisdom coming through. And as I said, an elevation of self, an understanding. And the more that we have wisdom and understanding, the more that turns into abundance and opportunities and luck, because our vibrational frequency is matched into that space of divine wisdom. Jupiter was linked into universal truths, philosophies, teachers, gurus, but it's the same element. So this is, it's an easy, free-flowing energy because they've got something in common. Like they're able to sort of understand the information that's being shared between these two energies with ease. And so then, with that sense of understanding, then you can then bring in more layers and just feel good about yourself. Jupiter's very generous, very confident. You should know that, Sag, you are ruled by Jupiter. So for Sagittarius risings, this transit of Leo, Venus in Leo, is happening for you in your 9th house. This is the house of the gods. This is your perspectives, your big perspectives, and a desire to change your perspectives. So it's linked into ethics, philosophies, religions. They didn't want that. Let's see if it wants to come out again. That was the 7 of Cups. This linked into ethics, religions, philosophies, your connection with God, your connection with the universe, connection with science, connection with people, like a big moral constructs of how we should all be as a society. All of these things come into play, and then how you map yourself out in your society, in your community, in the world, in the universe. Big picture thinking is also linked into mastering something. So you've been learning something for a while, and this is a time when you're either expanding on those studies or closing up those studies. And this is because this is about perspective. The more that we get into the details of something, the more confident we are with exploring something, the more we are able to broaden our perspectives, and through our knowledge be able to share that information with others and broaden their perspectives. Doesn't mean you have to agree with each other, but it's certainly finding things out from a place of depth. It's also about foreign travel, traditionally about going somewhere far away, but it's for me it's more an interpretation of going and living somewhere for a period of time that is unfamiliar to you. It's not what you're used to, and by doing so you are immersing yourself in an environment that is different to that which you're familiar with, and therefore help broaden your perspective. All about the perspectives here. So Venus moving through here, well, Venus is making you feel good about how you feel in the world. Feeling confident, feeling valued. There's a sense of desire to contemplate these ideas and big picture thinking. If you are studying or learning things, this is not just about like book learning. This can be absolutely anything that you're working towards mastery. Obviously we are always in a state of learning. We are always in a there's always, every day's a school day, guys, but this is about something that you've been working on for a while that's incredibly important to you. So Venus moving through here, if you're doing any kind of studying or learning, can help you feel good about it, can bring some harmony to how you're connecting the dots between all those things. And also maybe getting a desire to go and move somewhere for a little bit and spend some time in a different location to help broaden your perspectives. A reconnection with God, with the universe, with science, again, whatever it is that you connect to on a personal level that's you feel like it might be is bigger than you. Yes, we are a part of it, but we are a part in the whole of something. Maths is very much a broader perspective. So Venus moving through there, as I said, can help you feel good about how you see yourself in the universe. A sense of a value and appreciation about the ideas that you want to share. Meeting people from different environments can really come through. A new relationship can come through that is helping, maybe like helping you feel good about yourself and helping you understand that you have value in this world, in this universe. There's as I said, a desire to travel to different spaces to help broaden your perspective, and then meeting people and being friendly and engaging and connecting with lots of different people who have lots of different ideas, lots of different perspectives. There can be this sense of perhaps if you share your information, that this is going to be more widely received and appreciated and valued. Again, finding harmony in your perspectives. Wanting to go travel to someone who lives in a different country, lives in a different environment, spend time with them. Venus very powerful, there for 4 months. So that's the sort of general energy of what Venus would look like in a normal transit. With a retrograde, you're going to be revisiting your sense of value. I talked about what that retrograde might feel like a bit more in this introduction. That sense of, it might be that for some of you that you're questioning your place in the world. You're questioning how you connect and harmonize with your perspectives, and this can make you feel like just not tending to your heart space and seeing the beauty of it in the world. Finding you're questioning those perspectives, there's a sense of disharmony that might come up that might help you work through how far you've gone on your journey, whether these things actually trigger you or not, or helping you understand, oh no, I've still got those things that I need to work through. I've still got those swords to pull out of my heart that have been blocking me in the way that I am able to embody my perspectives. And all of this is trining your Sagittarius energy. And that's how for Sagittarius rising, that's how you embody your sun or your moon in your actions and your deeds. It's your house. It's your house of vitality. No cards are wanting to come out for you, Sag. What's going on? Okay, right. So, right before I go on to the trine, there was just a couple of things while they were doing some energetic work that came into my mind. So, it's about your relationship with your teachers, your mentors. And or your students, and how you communicate with them. And this can come up in many forms. It doesn't just have to be that sort of the titles of student and teacher, but that sort of that sharing of information and knowledge, and there just being a little more flow, a little more ease. Venus can represent money, and because she represents value, and it could be that through the ninth house there's a sense of they are not wanting any cards. Of finding the money to go traveling, finding the money to go and learn a course. There we go. I think that was the final card that came out in the part 1 reading, the collective reading. It's making me chuckle. Where was I? Right, so it's trining your Sagittarius energy. The first house is your house. It's the house of self. It's your vitality. It's your body. It's how other people see you. So we've got this lovely trine. So you're feeling really good about how you embody yourself. If this was a normal Venus transit, for some of you, as I said, with this retrograde, we can be revisiting that. We can be going over and exploring where those blockages are, like that are separating you from being able to embody your big picture perspectives, which come from the heart. Leo rules the heart. Very there's a sense of I talk a lot about the Leo energy in the different introductions, but so this with retrograde can help you sort of understand. Yes, you may feel good, you may feel confident, you may be seeking pleasure from engaging in these things, but as I said, this can bring up things that just might help you reassess and reevaluate what might still be there that's blocking you. And it's a trine, so there's wisdom and there's confidence here, so you're able to move through this a lot very easily. It could be that you've got a trip that you want to go on, and the trip sort of doesn't happen, stops and starts, takes 3 times to get there, and then that's when you head out. And also, again, with the reassessing of your value system, and you at the end of this transit, you're like, okay, now I see clearly what's important to me, what brings me pleasure in this 3D world, of how to look at myself in the environment that I'm in, and how to embody that in my actions and my deeds, like really bringing those philosophies into your day-to-day practices, being able to share those ideas and those perspectives without sort of taking up space. So that Leo energy can be very much the performer. Look at me, this is the sun, the center of the solar system, how can we not look at it? But it's I've said in a lot of these videos that it's all about turning that light inwards, not seeking things from the outside world, and not just because you shine your light doesn't mean you have to take away from others, and finding the balance with that. I feel like Venus is helping us refine that part of who we are, rather than moving from a more ego trauma based space to a space of confidence. When you have true confidence, you do not need to take the space away from other people. You do not need to explode if somebody questions your philosophies. It's not part of you just have strong foundations, so you're not rattled by other things. So this Venus transit, again, as I said, can bring in disruptions, can bring in heartache, linked into how you see yourself in the world, and that can be reflected in any kind of relationship that you have, with not only with yourself but with the outside world, people in your life, people that you've been with. All of these things can have helped change the size in which you see yourself in the world, like the value in which you put yourself in that structure. So yeah, great transit for us all. There's a lot of support in terms of the aspects Venus is making, which I talk about in part 3, the introduction of part 3. And Jupiter's involved here as well, because let's look to, oh no, before I do that, Sag, right, I really recommend checking out and thinking back in time, getting in a time portal, and getting in, to the summer of 2015. So this will be from like June to the end of September, which covers the sort of shadow phase of Venus, because this was the last time we had the Venus retrograde, so an 8-year cycle. And so that will cover the shadow and the retrograde phase, and so we want to look about what sort of themes came up during that time, that what then became sort of key parts of the next 8 years. And it's useful to see what comes up during this time, not because it's going to exactly recreate itself in this cycle. Everything is constantly evolving and constantly in a cycle of growth and evolution. So we're very different people than we were 8 years ago. The planets are in different spaces than they were 8 years ago. Venus has gone through enough. All the planets have all gone round those cycles 8 years, and they've all grown and evolved along with us. Also recommend checking out mid-August of 2019. So this wasn't the retrograde, this is the midpoint between both of the retrogrades. And so this is when we had a Venus Sun Cazimi. This is when they were conjunct one another. And this kind of marked a sort of a midpoint in the journey of that 8-year cycle. You might have got some more clarity about some of the themes that came up for you during that time. And then that would have helped you evolve and grow for the next 4 years. So it's helpful just to see what's coming up, because there might be common themes and reoccurrences. Maybe situations from that cycle might turn up just in a different way to help you go, okay, no, I'm a different person now. Do I want this in my life? Do you? You may do. But do you also want to change and grow and bring something else into it? The more that we're kind of aware and can be in observation, it's not about going, okay, this is what happens, and so I'm expecting this to happen. No expectations, but be open to what's going to come through. But you can, when something does happen, take a step back and be in observation of it and be mindful, and then see how you want to respond. Retrogrades are a time of pause. They're a time of reflection. It's not about go, go, go. Things will happen. Actions will be taken, but in order for us to learn from our mistakes. It's a very helpful process. Right, so look to your Sun and your Venus in your natal chart as well, because this will add in another layer of what's personal to you. So the Sun rules Leo, so wherever the Sun is in your chart is always impacting that Leo space, and the themes of the house that your Sun is in and the sign that it's in will add a flavor to this Venus retrograde, as well as where your Venus is, because Venus is going to be impacting Venus. So themes of that house and that sign are going to be showing up loudly, and it just really helps you sort of understand, like, we're all going through nuanced experiences with this. It can show up in many different ways. There are commonalities and general themes. Of all the signs, Sagittarius, the cards aren't. Yeah, I am a bit baffled. Maybe there doesn't need to be that many cards with your reading. We shall see. Right, so I was talking about Jupiter because Jupiter's in Taurus, and the reason why I want to talk about Taurus is because Venus rules Taurus, and because we're dealing with a Venus transit, we look to where Venus, the signs that Venus rules and the houses that they fall in for you. And for you, that's Taurus, and well, it's for everyone, Taurus and Libra, but you have Taurus in your 6th house of work, health and routines. I've had a lot going on in Taurus. This is what I love about this transit with Venus in Leo and Jupiter in Taurus, because the fixed signs, wherever you have your fixed signs in your chart, have been going through it. They've had eclipses for the last 18 months. You've had Saturn in Aquarius squaring those eclipses, all opposing or squaring Leo. So Leo's been duffed up a fair amount. I mean, all the fixed signs have, that this lovely soothing balm of a new cycle, having gone through all of this, is now, we're now starting afresh with a lot of wisdom, a lot of understanding of what really matters to us. And Jupiter down there in Taurus with Uranus, after all those eclipses, just helping, again, providing wisdom. Venus is providing value and appreciation and love and a sense of dedication and devotion to our heart space. They were just tapping on my heart chakra just then. Oh, I feel some nice energy moving through my body. That these two benefics, Jupiter and Venus, are coming along going, hey, we know you've been through a rough time. We want you to feel good. We want you to feel good. It's not about not doing the work, not working with integrity, not being responsible, not being the adult in the room for yourself, but being able to find the joy and pleasure at the same time. So, Taurus, in your 6th house of work, health and routines, you've got a big cycle with Jupiter there, shifting gears of finding the value in your work, finding wisdom in your work. I've done a Jupiter transit video in Taurus, so I recommend you check that out for that side of the dynamic, because we're going to have Venus and Jupiter square one another for the next 4 months. And so this is, squares can bring about conflict, drama and frustration, but they also bring about friction. And we need friction in order to create in this 3D realm. So your work, health and routines, squaring how you map yourself out in the world. Perhaps you're working in a foreign country, or an environment that's different, that you're not familiar with. The Jupiter's helping expand your desire to work, expand what's important to you, help you look after your health and your routines from a space of elevation. And meanwhile, Venus is helping you reevaluate, reassess, and start a whole new cycle of how you see yourself in the world. And that is going to impact what that work looks to you and where you want to be and what it is you want to be doing. Venus also rules Libra, and for you, that is in your 11th house of hopes, dreams, and wishes, groups and alliances, and reaping the benefits from your 10th house, which is your life purpose, your career. So the 6th house is like the mode in which you work. Right, so that's Taurus. So that's, you want to feel good in your work. And now Venus is over there. So themes around your work that are linked into how you see yourself and where you're headed and what you're doing, your perspectives, where you want to live, what you want to do, whether you're skilling up for work as well, could definitely be a thing with these transits. These are all tying also into your hopes and your dreams, and reaping the benefits from, as I said, that career house, which is for you, that is Virgo. The 11th house is, as I said, reaping the benefits from that career. So the changes that you've had, all those eclipses in Taurus, the changes that you've had in your work, there now might be some things come through that are helping you get a little bonus, a little benefit from your working environment, as well as helping through Venus, helping you see the value and appreciation and love and desire to connect to how you see yourself in the world. It's going to open up your hopes and your dreams, and broaden those out and help connect them to how you work, what's important to you, how you take care of yourself. The 6th house is very much the adult in the room. It can be difficult to work with, but I really like how we've got this trine here with Leo and Sagittarius, this wisdom, this elevation of self, and in terms of how you map yourself out in the outside world, feeding into, okay, what's important for me in work, what do I really value? How do I feel good? Do I want to be where I want to be? Do I want to change? How is this reflecting my philosophies? Some of us can work in environments that don't reflect that. We might not actually be in a choice where we can do that. It's all relative, and it's not a judgment for us to do that. But sometimes it is about standing up for what's important to you, standing up for your philosophies, seeing the light of something, operating from a heart space, very much this Venus transit in Leo. So that is, that's kind of what I wanted to say for you, Sag. Just looking at my notes. So wherever's going on, I would say just take your time. there's going to be clarity. There's going to be new information coming in. It's not about making big decisions. It's about reassessing. And often at the end of this, so when Venus comes out of her shadow phase, so this is still after, she's direct now, but it'll be shadow when she's going over the degrees that she retrograded over. She will come out of shadow on October the 7th. And this is when she'll have 2 days left in Leo, so you're going to get a real boost of something coming to the forefront at that time, a shift and change in whatever it is that you've been working in. It's just got more momentum now, and doubly so because on the 7th of October, Venus will sextile Mars in Libra at 26 degrees. So your hopes and your dreams, you'll have Mars moving through Libra, helping bring action to your hopes and your dreams, help you motivate that, trine, sextile, bringing creative, maybe meeting someone in your groups and alliances that come together to help you understand your perspectives. This also can be meeting somebody romantically from an environment that you're not familiar with. Definitely with Venus, that it is very much a thing. But yeah, that sextile to Mars right when she comes out of shadow phase, along with she'll be trining the North Node in Aries, which again, that's your creative energy, and sextiling the South Node in Libra. So we've got very karmic things popping up after this transit, basically. So there's a lot going on. This is an intense this is a big change for everybody. It really is. Okay, so this is when I go quiet. You've just had a lot of information. This is a time to digest, be still, see what intuitively comes up for you. Things may have been coming up already since Venus went into Leo on the 5th of June. Yeah, just see what intuitively comes up. And then the energies are going to want to do some energy work. They'll then move the cards into different piles. I'm doing 4 piles representing the different parts of the transit. And then I will incorporate the tarot in with everything that I've just been talking about. So do bear with me. As part of the process, we do need that integration phase, and I'll see you on the other side. Well, so the first pile, I should say first, before kicking off. Hi, Sag. I just had to pause for a second. My Sagittarius friend had messaged me, and yeah, just wanted to share that because it's the universe is getting a bit creepy. Right, so what we've got here. So yeah, the first pile is for Venus, the general energy of Venus for this transit. The second pile is the beginning shadow phase and the retrograde phase. The third pile is when Venus goes direct, and then the final pile is how this energy is manifesting and cultivating in this area of your life moving forward. Okay, they just pick the deck up. Sometimes they just do weird things. Okay, so for the... I can just feel the energies in my body. They're like, no, we got stuff to do. I'm like, but their time is valuable and precious. Welcome to my headspace. We've got the general energy of Venus. Honestly, they are cosmic trolls. They're just sort of doing this around the heart chakra. And around the solar plexus. And around to the back of my body on the solar plexus. And up to the heart chakra. So the solar plexus is linked into the actions we take out in the world. It can be very much linked into work. So it feels like bringing together the heart chakra and the solar plexus. As in bringing together heart and work together. Okay, so we've got, for the general energy of Venus moving through Leo, we've got the King and Queen of Cups. Now, we've not had this before. I like this balance, this combination of these two. Let's have them looking at each other. So the King of Cups, you know, you see the difference. It's nice to have the comparison here. You see the difference in the water between these two. This water is very choppy. I always point out the fact that, look, there's a sea monster here that's heading towards this ship, as in there's a sense of disturbances in the outside world, and how the King of Cups is very command and sure of themselves, and this seat that they're on the ocean isn't rocking. There's stability here. There's emotional stability. And we've got the Queen of Cups, very nourishing, very serene. Look at the difference in the water, very calm. But she's looking out to sea and the ocean from a space of safety to, there's a sense of, there's that sense of being in one space, but imagining the outside world. Imagine like that wide open space of the ocean and the sea from this point, from one shore to another. This could be more of an island. So we've got, they're both cups. Cups represent emotions. They represent intuition. They represent creativity. And there's a sense of being able to nourish your emotional body, nourish how you feel in the world. How you feel in the world, even though we're dealing with fire, right? This is still that passion, that drive, but also our heart space. How do we feel? How do we connect to ourselves, to the outside world from an emotional space? And this is saying that you're bringing in a harmony of the masculine and feminine. Here you're able to cultivate and nourish your ideas as well as take creative action on them. In terms of, can't avoid it with the Venus transit. This could be a coming together of two people to help support one another, that are starting a new cycle. a bringing together of two energies. That could be just for some of you. I'm not one of those tarot readers like, you're gonna meet your love of your life next week, and then they say it every week, and I'm like, okay. I don't like limiting the readings, predicting the readings in the way. It can be for some of you. This is a collective reading, but some of us aren't. Some of you aren't looking for that. It's not important to you, and it doesn't, just because the court cards come up that can represent people doesn't mean that they can very much be your emotional space within you, and that you are coming into harmony. We've got for the shadow phase and the retrograde phase. So this is up to the 3rd of September. All the dates are in the description box. And we've got the Tower card, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Six of Pentacles. Now, the Tower card can be quite scary. Well, it can look very scary. But this is such a great transformational card. If you notice here, all the fire is right at the top. Your roots and foundations are very strong, but it's taking away, it's pulling down structures that didn't serve you. It's pulling down parts of your life, ideas, constructs, understandings of who you are in the world that just were blocking you, were keeping you a bit superficial, or blocking you from being able to engage on from your foundations. So this can be a re-remembering of Tower moments that have happened in the past. Okay, they're wanting to highlight the Six of Pentacles. That's them doing it, not me. So this is about feel it being protected, things coming into balance. So whatever Tower moments you may have gone through and felt and experienced, things are now coming into balance with this retrograde. You are in a balanced space. You are able to receive the wisdom and knowledge from these tower moments in order to turn that into something of value. With sixes, there's a sense of protection. This is, being in receipt of something from someone that you respect, and there's a sense of not necessarily authority, but certainly, say, somebody you really admire, who you learn from, being able to share their wisdom and be able to give something to you, and you are in receipt of something. But yeah, I definitely feel like it's the wisdom from the Tower moments that are coming through. The Knight of Pentacles is sort of highlighting the fact that retrogrades are slow. Slow and steady wins the race. There's a sense of stability and loyalty coming in. Perhaps this is not necessarily a strong part of your I'm just getting the feeling like the Tower is pulling down something. Things are coming up that are pulling down ideas and constructs that might block the Knight of Pentacles from coming in. It's very loyal, very stable. There's lots of wisdom and strength here. It's the biggest horse of the night. It's like you feel there's a commitment there. There's like, you're going to be able to get where you need to go. It also represents slowness, so highlighting that retrograde, that things are going to take their time to come into fruition. But we've got Pentacles here, very much Venus wanting us to feel good in the 3D realm, moving away from rushing, committing to your heart space, defending your passions, being able to share those passions. But generally, just for the retrograde itself, of like what's happening here is helping you be open and helping you be able to see the wisdom in difficult situations that have shaped you, and be able to receive a new dynamic, a new way of operating in the 3D world, and how you see yourself in it. We have for we have for just bear with me. Let them do what they need to do. Oh my goodness. Their time is valuable, guys. Yeah, this is what happens when you work with energies that aren't fully comprehensive of 3D linear time. There's just, I was trying to bring it out, like, there's such a tapestry of energy that things may not make sense, but there's like strange layers that have got to go through in order to bring the messages through. And for me, like, there's part of me that like knows that there's something behind that that's just like click your fingers and you're done, but we're not quite there yet. You want to put it into the piles? I'm thinking with that Six of Pentacles, for some of you, it could be recognition at work of your value, receiving a bonus, because we're also dealing with the 11th house. Okay. I might pause the video for a second, because I do realize this is your time, and the energies are being quite frenetic, and I might let them work through it off camera and then come back to you, because, as I said, I do value the fact that you are spending your time here with us, and that we live in very busy worlds. There's a lot going on, and sitting watching this isn't necessarily a priority, so I'm just going to pause it. Okay, so off camera, that was about a couple of minutes. Got the feeling that they wanted another card, and the first card to pop out was the Empress. So we've got, for the direct motion of Venus, we have the Ace of Cups, the Sun, and Judgment. So this is a sense of this combination is beautiful. So this is a real sense of renewal, replenishment, a sense of peace, of understanding, of where you are in the world and how you connect to it. Judgment's about elevation, essentially ascension of every part of who you are, a soul level up. And the Sun is feeling good, feeling confident, feeling vibrant. The Sun does rule Leo. So we've got this vibrancy coming in of the direction, this sense of your perspectives, really bringing in a sense of joy and wisdom, and this overflow of abundance. We have, for the energies in instigating into in this area of your chart and how it's moving forward, we've got the Three of Pentacles. Now, this is mastery. So for those of you who are learning something, studying something, this is getting to a place where you're feeling very confident about it. And then this is also about collaboration. So we've got this with the House of Work, as well as the House of Hopes and Dreams, and communities as well. So it's a sense of bringing these together, of from your vibrational frequency of understanding something, of being confident in who you are. You're drawing opportunities and possibilities towards you, that they've got different things to offer. You're creating something beautiful and long lasting. There's a sense of, as I said, collaboration and mastery with those two, an understanding of what you have to offer in the world and what's important to you in order to hone that craft, hone those perspectives, in order to create a beautiful environment and create a beautiful world. The more that we're in tune with those philosophies, the more that they now feed into your actions and your deeds. Again, that's trining your Sagittarius energy. We've got the Lovers and the Empress card. So very fitting. The Empress card is Venus's card. Very fitting for this Venus in Leo transit. The Lovers is about, it's not just about, you know, the lovers, right? This could be you meeting somebody and there being a union. I can't deny that. However, this is also very much about having the information you need in order to make the right decisions. This is integration of the feminine, masculine, and spirit together, so you can make the right decisions to change. It's crossroads. It's about that there's a change of path happening, and with that Sun card and the collaboration, I really feel like it's bringing joy. With the Empress as well, she really wants us to embody the joy of experiencing the 3D realm. There's a very fertile, abundant energy. This could be somebody coming into your life who represents Venus to help you collaborate, whether that's work or friendship, romance, any of those things. That there's a real sense of joy coming through with this reading. Love this for you, Sag. Yeah, so you're ruled by Jupiter, so the Jupiter transit that's squaring Venus is going to have a big impact on what's going on for you over the next year, but also primarily over the next 4 months. As I said, you might not necessarily see it get going until October. We've got intuition, which, yeah, we've got the Queen and King of Cups here. So tapping into your intuition rather than responding from trauma responses. So, you know, how we value ourselves is often linked to our trauma responses and our limiting beliefs and soul contracts that we've signed up to. So Venus is helping clear those out. She's helping clear out the clutter in our heart. And what I love about this combination is, like, this is emotional control and sensitivity. So you're being combined with this intuition card, you're being this journey is helping you know what is at the root of all of that, and being able to take action that supports your soul rather than your trauma responses, helps your heart blossom, helps your heart shine. Okay, let's get one more. Okay, no, let's do the first light tarot. All the decks are in the description box, guys, if any of them take your fancy, and all the dates and main aspects are, that one definitely flipped. We've got source, love and light. Yeah, there's such a strong energy coming in of cracking open your heart, and allowing yourself to be vulnerable. That can be a very difficult thing for us all to do. Got the Jupiter card, Wheel of Fortune, spinning, fate, change, fortune. There's a shift happening. There's a shift. You know, this card's come up a fair amount in these readings, which is not surprising because, you know, Jupiter is in Taurus, squaring Venus. So what's happening during this cycle is really, you know, bringing in joy, bringing in a change of fate, new soul contracts, new understand, and that can be a soul contract with yourself as well. It's not just about with other people, but Venus is very much about connecting with others. Let's pull a final card from the numerology deck. Let's see what wants to come out for Sag. Perseverance. Take your time. Take your time. You've gone through some things that have disrupted you. Slow and steady wins the race, right? Don't try and rush it. Don't try and rush it. This card for me is very much like, so if like Saturn's helping us out, or Uranus, that sort of energy that's bigger than us, that's been around longer, is helping help you reconnect your heart. As I said, away from the trauma, and see the trauma for you know, this card, I clocked this card while I was shuffling, and I was like, oh no, I'm not gonna, I'll let that one stay in. I should have mentioned it. Yeah, taking your time, giving yourself space to breathe, to be able to connect to your emotions. Don't hide from them. Don't block those off. You're allowed to feel them, the good, the bad, and the ugly that's come through, and help unravel them. And as I said, a real heart opener experience here. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that, Sag. If any of this resonated, don't forget to hit the like button. If you're a new viewer, hello, welcome. If you felt like this helped you in any way, do hit that subscribe. I post transit videos out once a week, lunations and planets. And yeah, really appreciate everyone watching. I'd love to hear from you on a personal level. Sorry if I sound a bit funny. They're sort of bashing the deck over my heart space. Yeah, I love to hear about the astro weather, see how it's turning up. I'd love to hear from you on a personal note, but I appreciate that's really vulnerable to put your story out on YouTube. But if you want to help the algorithm push it forward, just put an emoji. That really helps the channel grow and get this out there if it resonated. Be good to yourselves, be good to those around you, and most importantly, be well until we meet again. Scorpio rising. How you doing, Scorpio? For those of you just tapping into the Scorpio energy, look to where Scorpio falls in your chart, the house that it's in, the themes of that house, and apply those themes to the messages that are coming through. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. In general, Leo energy squares Scorpio energy. This is an aspect of Mars. This can bring about conflict, drama, frustration, winning at all costs. You know, it's because we've got this 90-degree angle where we've got two energies butting heads against each other, both of the same modality, both fixed, so both think they've got an idea of what's going on and how to do it. If these things show up in your life, it's in order for you to understand, okay, what is truly important to you. Take a step back, have breathe, learn. We can learn very valuable lessons from these things. And then with the energy of the square, it's about friction. We need friction in this 3D linear time frame dimension that we are very aware of, that we are a part of. This is manifestation. We need that in order for things to be created. So very, very powerful energy coming through with this Venus retrograde. For Scorpio risings, Venus is in Leo in your 4th house. This is your roots, your 10th house. I do apologize. 10th. This is your career, your life purpose, how other people see you, your reputation. This doesn't just have to be about work. This can be just the thing that drives you, the thing that moves you. And so Venus moving through here, a normal Venus transit would be feeling good about your life purpose, your life direction, having more ease and flow and some harmony brought in, a sense of value for who you are, and a sense of appreciation for the work that you do, a reignition of your passions linked into your life purpose, a sense of all eyes on you, and a sense of value for what it is that you're doing and you're putting out into the world. It can also be, the 10th house is linked into bosses, so it could be a feminine energy that's supporting you and nourishing you and showing you your value. Right, so all of those themes are coming up in this Venus retrograde, in this Venus transit, but we are having a retrograde, which is why Venus is in the sign of Leo for 4 months. This happens every 8 years. I recommend looking to the summer of 2015, because this was 8 years ago. This was the last Venus retrograde. This was from about June to the end of September in 2015. So look back to see what themes came up around then. It doesn't mean that these are going to repeat in exactly the same way. The planets are in different places. You're a different person. But it's very helpful to see what sort of themes, what were you working on, that came up during that time. Also, what sort of kick-started in October, because that would have been after the retrograde, after Venus has left shadow. So that's when things start to get moving after what's come up during that retrograde. And also checking out what happened mid-August 2019. So this was the midpoint between the two retrogrades, between 2015 and now. And that would have brought about a sense of clarity and understanding of where you've come from, and adding to the dynamics of your career. So it's really helpful to look what's coming up during that time, not to predict that that's going to happen again. It's more to go because we want to be in a state of observation for anything that comes up, rather than trying to control things. But when we see things that are familiar to that time frame, we can take a step back and be in observation. Have you grown? Do you need to still work on it? Are we bringing in new dynamics in here that are starting a new cycle? Because we are starting a new cycle, guys, a new 8-year cycle with this Leo transit. It's beautiful energy coming through. Yes, some difficult things may come up, but this is in order to help us grow and thrive and realize the true value of who we are. So, talked about the themes of what might show up in terms of your career, just getting appreciation, a new drive, a new sense of pleasure around the work that you do as well, bringing in some harmony, bringing in some sense. So that harmony aspect of Venus, she wants things to be in flow. She wants to give us, she wants us to feel good. She wants things to be easy, and so that harmony is very much loving the cards that are coming out for this 10th house. Really am. She wants to bring that harmony, and that way she sort of clears up things, she's helping clear away heart trauma that has blocked how we can flourish. She is linked into the arts, into creativity. That is not just like music and poetry and painting and all those things that she's traditionally linked to. This is anything that gives you joy. This is anything that you think creatively about, solve problems in different ways, and just help you be inspired. So all of those things can come up, and they are squaring your Scorpio energy. So for Scorpio rising, this is your first house. This is the house of self. This is your body, your appearance, your vitality. It's how you embody your sun or your moon in your actions and your deeds. So it's the lens in which these things manifest, and it's also often how other people see you. So you're getting a lot of spotlight in terms of your life purpose and your career, and really working out like your value, not based clearing out trauma and limiting beliefs in order for you to fully embody your life purpose. So they like that one, and so this is just a very, after the fixed signs have been going through it the last couple of years, regardless of where that fixed energy falls in your chart, but for fixed rising signs, this is on angular houses, okay? So 1st, 4th, 7th and 10th are the angular houses. These are pivot points in our chart. They're very powerful parts of our chart. And so you've had eclipses in your sign, in Taurus. You've had Saturn in your 4th house. All of these things have brought about a lot of disruption into the fixed energy. And fixed signs can struggle with change, can find it difficult. And there's been, eclipses are all about change. Saturn has really helped give you some strong foundations. Through difficult times, though, Saturn in Aquarius was difficult for us all. But now we've got Venus in Leo, and we've got Jupiter in Taurus. So again, in these fixed signs, squaring one another for the whole of this transit by sign. And so we've got the two benefics. We've got Venus and Jupiter. They want to help us out. They want to provide support. It's this easy, free-flowing energy that helps you feel good, helps you find wisdom in feeling good. For those of you who've not watched any of the introductions to this series, I really recommend it. I break down Leo, I break down Venus, I break down Venus in Leo, the retrograde, how the sun is involved, because the sun rules Leo. So wherever the sun is currently in Gemini, will move through Cancer, Leo, Virgo and Libra during this retrograde. So all of those parts of your chart will get activated, and add themes into how the Venus transit is embodying itself. Also really recommend checking out where your sun and your Venus are, because this is going to have an impact on the transit. The sun rules Leo, so wherever the sun is and the themes of the house that it's in are going to apply to this Venus retrograde, as well as where your Venus is getting a level up, so the themes of that house are also going to apply, and might show up during this time, that just add a more nuanced understanding of how this is affecting you on a personal level. So we've got this retrograde. What, you know, I've talked a lot about the retrograde in this introduction. This is going over things. This is revisiting. This is a cultivation, a planning, a strategy. This is not necessarily about things moving forward very quickly, or things coming to a culmination where the new path is set in line. That's going to be more on the from the 7th of October, where there's going to get some real clarity over everything that we've done during this retrograde. Is just going to have some forward momentum that is starting this next 8-year cycle. So this retrograde for you, it can come up as you questioning your value, not necessarily seeing the value within you, and all of these things that may come up that are going to help you really spend time with your heart. Venus wants to help heal the heart, wants to bring in a sense of just heart coherence, heart harmony. And it can mean that difficult things come up. It can mean that plans that you've got might not necessarily go forward in the way that you want to, but these retrogrades are always rerouting our soul, always helping, giving us a breathing space before then taking action. Because sometimes, you know, fools can rush in, and this is really saying, no, calm down. Question where you get your pleasure from. Question how you bring harmony into your life. What's really important to you? What is your value? How do you appreciate your life purpose? How are you appreciated, and how do you want to be appreciated? There is a strength and a power with Venus in Leo. It's a yang day sign, so it is very impassioned. It wants to take action. It wants to be seen. There's this element of the performer with Leo, and I've said in many of the readings of how do we get that sort of ego-driven performer space of wanting to take up all the room in the space, or all the room in the space, all the space in the room, and come more from a authentic heart performance. This is where we have the confidence in order to allow other people to take space, not get knocked off when we don't feel seen, because the importance with Leo is pull that light inward, nourish yourself, be your own beloved, and by doing so you are able to shine your light even brighter. Leo also wants for the light to be shone with others, and for there to be for everyone to see their own radiance, for everyone to realize that they have a sun within their heart, that generator of energy, and that heart can get blocked off, is why we lose momentum. We don't have that spring in our step. We don't feel that compassion and love to everyone we're around. We don't feel that compassion and love to ourselves. I said about the retrograde, it can make you question whether you are have value, and whether you are loved. And this retrograde is really helping us reassess and reevaluate that. So really great transit, especially, as I said, these are the two benefics, helping us out after all of these eclipses, after Saturn. You know, we're just being given a warm hug, but it's not about leaning into that pleasure principle and prioritizing that fully. This is about finding balance between integrity and pleasure. You know, you've got to think about Aquarius, which is opposing this Leo energy of universal truths and working with the collective. It's all about being able to be the individual in the collective, allowing your heart and your mind to work together. You know, Aquarius is helping us get our heart, get the frequencies that we need, the downloads that we get from the air, from the cosmos, into our heart, bringing in that galactic energy to help nourish and support us, so we can work through those unintegrated parts of our Leo energy, and then shine that light so brightly. Not be afraid to shine your light as well. I think I might talk about that in the part 6 introduction. Being able to shine that light without, because sometimes our light can be dimmed by others, and or we want to dim our light in order to not blind those around us. But this retrograde really is about helping us all collectively shine our light with, again, and realizing that pure space of abundance, that quantum field, is the fact that there is no us shining our light doesn't take away the light of others, and helping facilitate through are questioning and working through and peeling back the trauma layers, the limiting beliefs, we're able to be very confident in who we are. And the more that we embody that energy, the more that's available to others and those around us. So there might be a project that you're doing at work that you're having to reassess and go over and reevaluate and find the small details and bring that all together. So this is a great time to do that. This is an amazing time to do that. It might be that a project that you've wanted to get going isn't getting going, but this is helping you find the things that, if you hadn't noticed it during the retrograde, might have been bigger problems further down the line. Yeah, just I'm getting really nice positive vibes from this retrograde for you, Scorpio. And we've also, right, so what else is going on? So because we're dealing with Venus, we look to the signs that Venus rules and the houses that they fall in, and the themes of that house of those houses are going to crop up during this retrograde, as well as Venus. Whatever's going on with Venus is elevating the signs that she rules. So this is Taurus and Libra, and for you, Scorpio, you have Taurus in your 7th house. This is opposite your Scorpio energy, and so this is the house of one-to-one relationships, business relationships, clients, people that you work with on a one-to-one basis or in small intimate environments. This is also your friends, the people that are near and dear to your heart, that are very intimate for you. There's also linked into sort of long-term committed relationships. And so it's linked into marriage and contracts. So contracts are definitely a thing as well. And this could be, we've got Jupiter there and they're squaring each other. So there's a lot of manifestation coming around from how the wisdom that you find in your one-to-one relationships, one-to-one people coming in and helping support the Venus's journey. It could also be, you know, we are dealing with relationships and we are dealing with the 7th house. So it could be that you're starting a new cycle of somebody coming into your life that is a committed relationship. And so those are definitely themes that can come up for you. Being able to reassess your life purpose and what it means to you, being in a state of, I was about to say observation, we just got the Hanged Man, which is all about being able to change your perspective about how you see your life purpose going, how you're viewed in the world, and how you view yourself and how you view the world and how the world views you. Realigning that into, as I said, heart coherence. We also look to Libra because that's the other sign that Libra rules, and Libra for you is in your 12th house. This is a difficult house. This is the house of mysteries. This can often be a house, so it's linked into the sort of constructs of who you are. It's often where our trauma is, our limiting beliefs, like the place that it sits and how it shows itself. This can be a part of our chart that we find difficult to access. It might be very personal to you that you might not be able to integrate in with the rest of your chart. It's also the house of magic, because underneath all that trauma, underneath all those limiting beliefs, and we all have them across the board. I mean, some of us don't, but the majority of us very much do. But underneath all of that is your soul. This is where the magic is. This is where the power is. It's the 12th house is a very, very magical house, but it can be difficult. It can be linked into depression, loss, and grief. And interesting. And there can be a need for isolation. But let's link that back into the 10th house. So you might be spending time in private, in isolation, contemplating what it is that you need from your life purpose. Okay, so themes of that house are going to show up, and also that part of your chart's going to be leveled up. So this retrograde of Venus and Leo of your life purpose is going to help fulfill and release trauma responses and limiting beliefs that have been in your unconscious space. The 12th house is very much the unconscious, and then help open up the magic there. We've also got the nodes moving into that sign, so this is all coincide. That happens a couple of days before the retrograde, so we're really getting a kick from Venus to help instigate this purification and refinement of that hidden area of your chart, in terms of how you like the 10th house. So the second house are the tools that you have in order to make your money, and the sixth house is how the lens in which those tools are used, so how you work. And then the 10th house is about the thing that drives you, the thing that moves you through this life, the life direction, the life purpose. As I said, it doesn't just have to be linked into work, but it is sort of a very prominent out in the world energy of the sort of the modus operandi in which people see you embody. And so we've got these hidden constructs, these trauma responses that Venus is helping unravel and navigate. She's tidying up our heart space and really helping us get in alignment with your life purpose that is underneath all of that, the magic of that. So as I said, you might spend time in isolation working through this plan, this retrograde of figuring out. So it's either going to elevate your direction of what you're already doing, finding a new life purpose, being reinvigorated. You know, the sun, it rules Leo, the vibrancy, the vitality. Venus wants you to feel good about all of this. She wants you to be valued. She wants you to be appreciated. She wants there to be some harmony with all of this energy. So if we're looking at life purpose, it could be, again, working through a project that you've been doing, figuring out what direction you want to be headed in, and how this is showing up in your one-to-one relationships. So again, this can be clients, this can be people that you work with on a one-to-one basis in work, as well as how your friendships might support and facilitate this direction. People that are near and dear to you. Again, if you've got a partner, they might be helping facilitate how you see yourself and how you see the value of yourself in your career. It can bring people into your life that help you question this. So as I said, like look back to 2015. So sometimes relationships come up that are helping us learn soul journey, helping us through difficult times, potentially finding out the value of ourselves. It can also be people coming in to help support and nourish that value system, as well as the relationship with yourself. It really can show up in many different ways. All the details of this retrograde, the details of the shadow phase, retrograde period, the Cazimi that we're going to have when the Sun and Venus conjunct one another, as well as other aspects that she's going to be making in this journey, are all in the description box. So I know it's a lot of information, so this is there for you to go and check out, and then maybe write in your diary and see what comes up during this time. You might have already noticed things come up the moment Venus moved into Leo, which was on the 5th of June. I've certainly noticed that in myself, those around me, and clients. Like it can show up very loudly straight away when a planet moves into a sign. It might not have done. It all depends. I've also gone retrogrades where that's not happened, and that's not a thing. So it's all going to be relative to you. Right, so they've put the deck down, and that's pretty much at the end of what I wanted to talk about. So this is when I go quiet. This is when the energies do things with the cards. We'll then put them into piles. There's going to be 4 piles, which I'll break down when we get to it. And they'll want to do some energy work. And this is when I'm quiet, because it's quite difficult to channel, think and talk at the same time. So as I said, time of integration, you just have loads of information. This is when we let it all settle in. We pause, we breathe, see what intuitive hits come up for you that link into what's going on in your life right now. And then I'll come back to you and start talking when the cards are where they need to be. And I'll integrate everything that I've just been saying with the tarot. Okay, so the 4 piles. So the first, I had a feeling they weren't finished. So the first pile is for the general energy of Venus moving through Leo. So we've got the King of Pentacles and we've got the Two of Cups. This is beautiful energy. This is the King of Pentacles is the earthly realm. It's Pentacles, so it is linked into work. And the King of Pentacles takes action, very grounded action, very stable action. There's a sense of building strong foundations during this retrograde, that getting you to be in this space of abundance. You know, there's a lot of fruit here representing, as I said, fertility and the ability to create something beautiful in this 3D realm that's long lasting and stable, very grounded energy. And we've got it with the Two of Cups, which is very much about union and respect, equality. There's a sense of love and appreciation coming in. You know, I did say, you know, it's Venus can help you have love and appreciation for yourself, but also, you know, the outside world, your reputation being valued and respected. Because you see here, they are on equal footing. They are of equal height. We've got the feminine, masculine, and spirit together. We've also got the caduceus, which is a symbol of Mercury, but it's also, you know, very much linked into pharmacies and doctors. There's a sense of healing going on. So it's bringing in this sense of being valued, of being respected, of there being, you know, as I said, equality coming in for this Venus retrograde, for this Venus transit. Overall is bringing in stability and a sense of appreciation, a sense of being valued. And through that, deep healing happens. And integration of self, and not seeing yourself as lesser, not seeing yourself as not being seen. There's a sense of emotional connection, of care and consideration. It's also linked into, you know, water, intuition, creativity. We've got for the retrograde, and the beginning part of the shadow phase. So we've got some difficult energy here, and not surprised, this has come up quite a few times in readings. Who was it who didn't have any? That was Aquarius. That was wild. Yeah, I wonder what's going on with Aquarius. Okay, so we've got the Two of Pentacles. So whenever these cards have come up, these difficult cards for this particular pile, for this part of the transit, it's sort of highlighting these themes can come up. Retrogrades can be difficult. They can highlight insecurities that we have that are blocking our value, blocking our sense of pleasure, blocking our ability to love, to appreciate yourself. So we've got the Two of Pentacles. So, you know, this is we've got the 2 and 5 of Pentacles, the 10 and 8 of, we've got 2 8s actually coming up because we've got the 8 of Cups here. But this, and we've also got the 2 of Cups. We've got duplicates. We've got duplicates, Scorpio. And so this is about things coming into balance. So this is the survival mode card. There's movement, you're juggling things, but you're not able to thrive. So I always point to these ships. They're on very, very big waves. Imagine being on that ship and just being like, oh God, what have we got to do? You've got to do the things you need to do in order to survive, but you're not able to think beyond that. Look at this person's face. They are not, okay, is that gonna focus? They're not feeling it, right? Like they're not enjoying this process, this juggling act of having to balance lots of different things and feeling unsteady. There's movement, but you're not moving forward. So this is helping bring things up, bring fears, bring situations up that you can then sit with and take your time with in order to unravel. These are getting cleared out. We've got which one do they want? Okay, they're wanting to do the 5 of Pentacles. So with the 5 of Pentacles, this is about not feeling supported, not feeling like you've got anything. There's a sense of being out in the cold and having felt like that for some time. There's a sense of lack here, that you may not have been valued in your life purpose, your career, your reputation. You may not have been appreciated and supported and given your dues, given your props. And we've got the 10 of wands, sorry, swords. Very, you know, similar, that might be relevant to some of you. And that's about burden and being overloaded. But this is about, this is a very karmic card, as well as the 10 of wands, actually, because if you see here, all the swords are along the spine. A Leo rules the spine. We have a lot of karmic trauma in our spine. It's such a good thing to do spine work. It really does transform your life. I need to take up my own advice with that one. That this is a sense of feeling betrayed, of feeling stabbed in the back, like other people's ideas, other people's words, blocking you, causing you to not be able to move, feeling completely immobilized. But look here, the sun is rising, the night is passing, and this is a sense of completion of that phase. We've also got 2 8s. We've got the 8 of swords and the 8 of cups. So the 8 of swords is being trapped in a cage of your own making. So it's really tying into limiting beliefs that you have, even if they have come about due to situations that have actually happened. But often these limiting beliefs are really at the root of our unconscious mind. We're dealing with the 12th house as well, remember, where Libra is. So clearing out limiting beliefs that have made you feel that you are trapped and that you're in a cage that you can't get out of. That with the 2 8s, we've got the 8 of cups. This is about, for me, very much leaving behind those limiting beliefs, leaving behind those trauma responses, those habits that we have based off of those things that are our love language, that do feel safe to our body to our unconscious space. Look, we've got the moon here, to our unconscious space, that don't serve us. And so it's about going on a journey. So this is the retrograde. These are the things that come up. This is about moving, separating yourself from this and going to climb a mountain to get a higher perspective. This is doubly confirmed by the Hanged Man. And we've got the Knight of Pentacles coming in. But this retrograde is a journey of releasing these limiting beliefs. And we've got the Knight of Pentacles and the Hanged Man. So it kind of feels that, I did talk about that project as well that you might be doing for some of you in terms of your career, because these cards, there's different messages that I'm getting through with this. Is taking your time to go over that project, because these are both slow energy. The Hanged Man is about limbo. This is about changing your perspective to receive divine wisdom, but it's about taking your time. This is slow and steady wins the race. So if there is a project that you're working on, this is a time where you're cultivating it. And through doing that, you're helping release these limiting beliefs. You're helping break out of that. And really embodying your innate sense of wisdom that you have within you. But in terms of if you don't have a project going on, this is about through this retrograde, it is a slow thing. This card has come up a lot for this particular pile. And this is about taking your time, not reacting quickly, letting things adjust into your physical body. There is wisdom and strength in the oak leaves, in the Knight of Pentacles helmet. It's even on the horse as well. This horse is the biggest horse of the knights. It's very protective energy. It's like you're going to get where you need to go. This horse can keep on going. You may not be rushing around, but you will reach your destination, and you're able to defend your work as well and feel good about it. Defend the wisdom that you can bring in. Love this. For the direct motion, look at this. The Magician and the 9 of Pentacles. Love this. So the Magician is, you have all the resources you need in order to create magic. This is about taking action. This is about cultivation and feeling good about what you have and what you have to offer, especially tied up with the 9 of Pentacles. This is very independent energy, making the right decisions to serve you for the long term in order to get you to this abundant space. This is about realizing the strengths of who you are as an individual soul and what you have to offer. It is also about hard work. It's about being integral with what you're doing and enjoying the experience to get you to that space of abundance. And we have for the energies moving forward. Love, 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 love. Love this for the career house. Love this for the life purpose. We've got collaboration, but this is also mastery, the 3 of Pentacles. So this is about knowing that you've got something to offer and it is of value, being very confident in that. Venus is helping clear out heart clutter, a way that has blocked you from really having the true confidence of embodying your mastery. And by doing so, it's bringing in collaboration. So you're bringing in other people. This could be other skills that you have and combining them all together in order to create something beautiful and long lasting. But it is also, again, collaboration, being respected in your area of your life purpose. With the Queen of Wands, now the Queen of Wands is shown up quite a lot. Just need to pause for a second. Sorry, I just had to clear my throat. So the Queen of Wands, empowered in your passions and your creativity, being very confident to say no and do what it is that you need to do in order to get things done. Nourishing and supporting your passions and your desires and your creativity, but in it with a sense of mastery and collaboration with that Six of Wands. So we've got victory here. The things that you are doing, the motions in motion, that is what is being set in motion, is that what you have to offer, how you collaborate, how you engage in your life purpose, is bringing you a sense of victory and celebration. They're all about to go and have a big party because they've achieved something that is not only helping the individual but the collective as well. Love that. Love that. Yeah, very, very empowering, passionate energy coming through for you, Scorpio. Like this is really lovely. Yeah, that makes me happy, this one. Right, I'm going to pull some clarification cards. All the decks are in the description box. All the information is in the description box. So let's see what comes up. This is the numerology deck. Let's see what wants to come out for Scorpio. Sometimes it's new messages. Sometimes it's adding nuances to the messages that have come through, or just straight up repeating what's already been said. Yeah, sometimes the cards don't want to come out the deck because they want to do some energetic work for you. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of respect, a lot of support coming out here. You doing what you need to do, you doing what feels good for you. And just there's a quiet confidence with that Knight of Pentacles, which I love. What else did we get? We got, the Magician. Yeah, so really being able to put things into action after that retrograde and being able to create and manifest in the world that serves this long-term abundant purpose. Or perhaps bringing that into that space. Doesn't just have to be long term. It can be just part of that 8-year cycle that we're heading into. Change. Well, that's not surprising. Change of how you engage in your heart, helping, as I say, helping release traumas. It's always nice when that card comes up because it's symbolizing, yes, there is going to be an energetic shift. There is going to be a new dynamic that you're walking into, a new heart portal. Strengthening your heart, supporting your heart. Got Source, love and light. Lovely. Being able to have some lightness in your heart. It's not about not doing the hard work. It's about finding the pleasure in what it is that you're doing. Okay, let's get one more. This is the First Light Tarot. This is a mixture of major arcana, question cards, statement cards, and keyword cards, like the source card that we just had come out. Attraction, manifestation. Yeah, big, like, it's an angular house, so it's going to show up. You've got a real with that squaring your Scorpio energy, again, as I said, that's a manifestation energy. You're really able to bring things into reality. Talk to your heart. Do you, oh, yeah, I'm just trying to think of, I just think it's really a good practice for all of us to sit with our heart. You know, retrogrades give us a chance to go over things and reevaluate and just allow our heart to be heard. Sometimes that can be really difficult, but do it with pride and with passion and with grace. Let the light shine on that heart. Despite all the pain, you know, we wouldn't be where we are now without everything that we've just gone through. With the Leo energy, I always say turn that light inwards, because when we try and seek that from the outside world, it just can block off our ability to embody what's truly important to us, because we've got the death card. Hello, Scorpio. Change, suspension of consciousness, new life, reborn. It's making me think of the Sam Cooke song, A Change is Gonna Come. So yeah, real transformation during this time for us all. Transformation of the heart, letting go of old authorities that may have bound you. You know, on the Rider-Waite, there is, you know, the monarch has passed, and that represents authority that doesn't necessarily serve you, that is no longer holding you down. It's about synchronicities. So it might be that the universe shows you what's being let go through synchronicities, or those synchronicities help activate that change. Being aware of those synchronicities can really help you realize the manifestation powers that you have. Right, one more for Scorpio. Like, for example, yesterday in a reading, I was talking about magic, and the next card that came out was the Magician. You know, those sorts of things where you're like, oh, okay, hi universe, hi energies, co-creation time. Adventure, love that. Love the playfulness element of that. Leo is very playful. You know, we're going on a new adventure. We've got change, which is 5, and then adventure, which is 2 5s. So lots of movement, lots of shifting. We've got that 5 of Pentacles, breaking out of old structures and going on. I want to get a clarification for that adventure card. Do I? Which deck do they want? Enjoying the ride of going with your life purpose as well. Yeah, that's a great card. That's a fun card. After everything, as I said, the fixed signs have gone through. It's now, rather than seeing change of like, oh my God, what is going on? It's like, oh, the adventure. It's sort of full energy. Where you're open to the experience rather than in fear of it. You know, that 10 of Swords, 8 of Swords, 5 of Pentacles, 2 of Pentacles. That's some heavy energy. That's like, what do I, it just does this, it's very trapping, very limiting energy, and we can feel fear around change. Like, fixed energy really struggles with change. So I like that. Okay, so that card came out before and now it's come out again, and I do like that. Sort of focusing on the financial side of things rather than discipline. But financial discipline is a wonderful thing, but it's sort of implying that what's coming up is supporting you financially. Let's just want to get another clarifying on that one. Sort of focusing on the manifestation. over the financial. But I want to get another card with that one. Like, we all need to work with sorry, the energies are being a bit wild. Getting out I haven't used this deck very much lately. This is the Oracle of the Rising Sun. Let's see what wants to come out for Scorpio. Yeah, it's all good. It's good for all of us to have financial discipline, especially with everything that's going on in the world right now. It's important to be mindful of what it is that we're doing, but it also, by saying financial discipline, it's kind of implying that there is finances in which to engage in with mindfulness. And I'm just kind of thinking the fact that you've got Sagittarius in the second house, ruled by Jupiter, and that can often mean burning through money. And so Venus in Leo is trining that Sagittarius energy. So it's sort of helping bring wisdom and support to that. Oh, they are being funny today. They are being funny today. Perseverance. That you've had to persevere to get to this space. Okay, so it's perseverance. Oh, they are being financial discipline, source, love and light, the Magician, 9 of Pentacles, and attraction, manifestation. So a real growth in the journey that you've been on, and starting up a new 8-year cycle. Love this for you, Scorpio. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. If anything resonated, don't forget to hit that like button. New viewers, hello and welcome. If you felt like this has helped you in any way, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I try and put a transit video out every week, sometimes 2. So yeah, really appreciate the support. Thank you so much for being here. It helps the algorithm if you put a comment, even if it's just an emoji. I appreciate it's quite vulnerable talking about your life on YouTube, but generally I love to hear from you about the astro weather and see how it's showing up in your lives, because it's affecting us all in very different ways. So as I said, I'd love to hear from you. Be good to yourself, Scorpio. Be good to those around you, and most importantly, be well until we meet again.